Hi there! Welcome to Babbles Travelling Yarns. I need to do something about this light situation. A little bit. Okay. Too much light is a bad thing. Who would have thunk it? Now, I'm going to spend the entire podcast, if this is what it's called, moving a lot because this is incredibly uncomfortable sitting on the floor. It makes me realise that I'm not so young. So, what we're going to be doing today is something a bit special, aka I haven't planned anything, but I had a quick thought when I was cleaning out my craft room on a day that I got off from work because I was called in last night. So, I'm going to be talking about the SMAL that myself and Mina Phillip of the Knitting Expat podcast are going to be running from the 6th of May until certain times in the future. I also haven't looked up anything. I will put details on the page here. So basically the SMAL is a spin and make along. It is to encourage people to intentionally spin something for a reason. So there's no real restrictions on like you have to spin that thing that you set, like you have to make the thing with the yarn that you end up with. Like if your plans change or anything like that as you go along, I think it's fine. The idea is just to become a little bit more intentional with your spinning. So the first 4 months are going to be the spinning part, the first 3 months are going to be the spinning portion. So it's going to end at the end of July, at the end of the Tour de Fleece competition, not really a competition, spinning sprint. So just to incorporate that, I think it'd be really fun to finish it at the end of July. And then the making section is going to carry on from there. So you can weave, you can crochet, you can spin, or you can knit with your yarns that you've made from the spinning portion. And that runs for a little bit longer, I think 4 months. So July, so it would be August, September, October, November. I think it finishes up. I think, if I'm wrong, I'll put it on the page. But yeah, so to give you an example of what we mean. So Mina asked me this really, really cool idea when I was over in Edinburgh with her. And she was like, oh my gosh, I've been planning this. So I was like, yes. So I had a half idea for this, but I kind of wish I had started it earlier on. So this project was a fractal spin using 3 braids of Hello yarn, and I had gathered the 3 skeins kind of over, I got the first skein and I spun it up fractal. And then I found someone contacted me and they gave me 2 more skeins. So I spun it up fractal again, but they were like 6 months apart. So what I did was, because I hadn't planned to actually make a garment, and then when I got 3, I found out that, oh yeah, I have enough to make a garment. But I needed to alternate all 3 skeins all the way down, the whole project really. To make sure that any kind of inconsistencies in my spinning wouldn't be too noticeable. It also worked really well for color management on this one. The fractal nature of the yarn really came through. So all 3 skeins were dyed with a blue section, a brown section, a blue section, and a brown section. So it really shows up. It's almost as if, say this is the skein, the color. It's almost as if you're seeing the way that this is dyed in the actual jumper. So that was really, really fun and it worked out, but it did involve a lot of mathematics and headaches as I was doing it, and a little bit of fear if I wasn't gonna make it. So this cowl is a brilliant idea to try for something a little bit less terrifying. But I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do for it. So you can spin anything. You can spin something small. You can use some drop spindles. You can, these are quite cheap to buy actually. If you want to learn how to start spinning, these little drop spindles are handy. You can spin away on that, and just like what a lot of people have done when they're first learning is they spin a little bit on these and then they make a headband. Like that would totally be permissible in the cowl. It's kind of, I think, just to start knitting with your hand spun and make a plan for it. If you are a more proficient spinner, to kind of make a plan for it and kind of try for something that you've always wanted. So I'm not sure. I've got a couple of ideas for projects. So what I've decided to do for this podcast is to go through all of my fibre stash. And actually it's kind of a, Grace, maybe you don't need to buy new things. Maybe you just need to use what you have. And I'm like, okay, Grace from the future. She's so reasonable, it's very annoying. But also, like, you lose stuff and stuff kind of gets all over the place. So yeah, we'll see. So I'm going to start with whatever's closest to me. I'm going to start with my current whips, actually. I've got just one of these bobbins that I just need to wind off. And I don't know what that'll be. I just spun up some Rolags from Pretty Funky Fiber. I still have a load of the other single. So I think I'm going to try and keep this as a single and full it a little bit. It's got banana fiber in it and some bamboo. But there is merino in it, so I think I'm going to try and do that. So I just need to finish off those, clear off all my bobbins before we start. I think that's a good idea. I also have another Pretty Funky Fiber bat, which is called the Emerald City bat, which I'm currently working my way through. This is the bat. Oop. So I have split the bat, kind of, I took strips and I zigzagged it. So this is what I have left to spin, and it's spinning up really glittery. So that's really exciting. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might do another boucle. I might do another kind of shiny boucle on that, because it's just mad, like so shiny and pink. So it might just be another art yarn on that one. And then what I've got is, this is kind of a long-standing self-striping ply on the fly project. I have them in clear bags so I can see what's in them, because I've got a lot. And fibre as well. It's more protected. It doesn't felt as much in a plastic bag, even though I hate using plastic, but I reuse the bags. This bag has been reused about 17 billion times. I know that's no good really, but so this is my ply on the fly project. I spoke about that previously in a previous podcast. Have a little look back. I think you can see me using this in the screenshot of it. But yeah, that's a really convenient project to take around for demonstrations and shows, and just like a handy small project. So that's just kind of like my sock project, like if you were comparing it to knitting. So there are my 3 current projects. I had plans and ideas for a lot of other things, and you know, I was actually involved in a couple. I said I was going to do loads of things at the start of the year. I didn't. Oh no. But I have an old stash here from Irish Fairy Tale Yarns, who is pregnant. Yay, Gabby, I love you so much. I hope everything goes well. But I've got 3 of these. Now, I used one for a demonstration how to utilize one of these. So I have 3 of them, and they kind of have these blues, browns, a little bit of red, a little bit of, blues, browns, and a little bit of purple. So I was thinking about doing a combo spin with these 3 and maybe seeing if I could make another garment, maybe a cardigan this time. I'm not sure. I need to have another look through that book, A New Spin on Colour by Spinny Buns, Alana Wilcox. And I think I'm going to have a look and see if I can. What I would actually love to do is do a proper spin and spin for separate parts of the body. So the front and the back, like all the way around in the circle or whatever. And then spin different yarn for the arms, so the stripes are going to be relatively the same without having to swap the yarns out, because I had to cut the yarns a couple of times to get the stripes to be as long, like I had to cut the yarn here when it realized I was just going to be going blue forever, just because it wasn't going to match here exactly. So Alana talks a lot about spinning for garment knitting and spinning separately, spinning one way for the body and then spinning separately for the sleeves. And it's kind of like splitting down your braid a couple more times and spinning them with shorter repeats for the shorter circumference of the sleeve. It's never going to be perfect, but it's just easy, and you don't have to think about it when you're actually knitting it then. So it's an idea that I'm kind of thinking about. Oh, here we go, changing again. Change again. All right. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think I might do a combo spin on those. That was my original idea, because they're kind of quite similar colors. Like you've got blues and browns in quite a lot of them, and blues and browns are something that I love to spin. They're really, I love those complementary colors. And then this gorgeous kind of burgundy, kind of purpley red in there is really lovely as well. So yeah, and I've got the rest of that braid. I was showing people how to do a crochet chain. So what I did basically was I took one of these apart and I split it right down the center. Split it right down the center so that I have one for one side. I was describing how you would get a 2-ply gradient with this. That's another thing I could do as well, is a gradient. And then I just showed people how to do a crochet chain. And I can show you how to do that here as well. Hi Beans! So you get, now use the lighter color, it's easier. So you get the lighter, it doesn't matter which side, but you just make a loop, just like that. And then you grab it from the other side and you go over that section. You go grab it with your fingers and you're just doing a crochet chain. I basically just made a slip knot there at the start. Beans, no, he loves alpaca. Beans, you are gonna have to leave that alpaca alone. I got some lovely alpaca from my friend Valerie to do some experimental dyeing with, just to see, because it's already carded up in a bat. And Beans, I had to hide it on the highest shelf and close the door and lock the room, and he just almost ripped the whole thing apart the whole time. He absolutely loves your alpaca, Valerie. Now, and that's the crochet chain. I don't know if I explained that well, but it's just a crochet chain. That's all it is. But it makes a pretty braid. I mean, I was doing it really loosely there because I'm not particularly fussy about it. But if I'm packaging it for a nice little thing, I would do it tighter. So those are the two halves of the braid. And these are made of, this is 100% Cheviot. This is 100% merino, and then this one is 100% merino as well. So this one actually is the only one that's not merino, which will be interesting actually. I wonder would I be able to combo spin it then? Let me know, spinners, what do you think? Mixing Cheviot with, doesn't feel too like it's far, like it doesn't feel like I spun some Cheviot in my time, and it was not as soft as this. It's not merino soft, but like, what do you think? Do you think I could combo? I don't really want to blend it. I want to maintain the colors, so it's an idea. So that is Irish Fairy Tale yarns. Now, what other big projects do I have? So I've got some fibre from John Arbin. Actually, I've got quite a lot of fibre from John Arbin, come to think of it. Yeah, we'll go through all of my John Arbin fibre. Sorry. This one. Oh, there's all of this. Days. Oh my gosh, flax. Oh, mohair, Irish mohair. Oh, okay, right, no. Concentrate, Grace, concentrate. Right. Okay, that's not so bad. Right, so I have this fibre that I got from Ooh, yeah, so I've got this blue, white, and kind of a navy. Blue, white, and navy, which I really want to go together into something. Spin it up and make it into something glorious. They're 200 grams each in these, so definitely enough to make a sweater or something large project, large garment. I also have this gorgeous sycamore. I think it's part of their viola range actually. It looks like it's got some Zwartbles in there, so it's got some black undertones, and it's a stunning kind of foresty green, which I love. I don't know how much is in this, but it feels like 300 grams, maybe a little bit more probably than each one of those bumps. So that is pretty. And I've also got some super lovely, luxurious silk stuff, and I wonder, is it the same? It might be the same as that white that I got before. It might be actually exactly the same. So I think I've got extra on that, which is fine. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those, but it'll be fun whatever it is. I want to try to decide on doing it before I just start spinning. I think that's the whole idea for me about the SMAL, is trying to plan, trying to consistently spin something, trying to work through a little bit what we're going to be talking about. I've got some interesting books here actually. So this is the Felicia Lowe Dying to Spin and Knit. And so this is kind of dyeing yarns and how you can actually get different colors and color combinations and things. I think she had a bit where, maybe she didn't actually, spinning color. Yeah, so there's a whole thing about spinning color in this section of the book. Working with your hand spun yarns, kind of how to physical versus optical mixing. So this one was blended and this one was just mixed, spun together, and how these two, blue and pink, came together to form the purple, I believe, something like that. Hand spun sample showing the difference between physical mixing of colors top versus optical mixing middle. In the optical mixing, the same purple has been created by carding together fuchsia and blue wool fibers. Yeah, so the fuchsia and the blue were carded together to form these, to spin up this purple, which is really interesting. So, and then it talks about grist and how striping affects color. So if you were to spin top, like split the braid down in half and then spin one end and spin the other end and then start playing with the same ends that you started with, you'd get these like hard stripes. However, if you did it opposite, if you flipped one end around and plied with opposite ends, you'd get a more of a blend, you'd get more marling. How pre-drafting affects the color. See, that's interesting as well. So either spinning straight from the top, like spinning straight from this top or this top, and then when you actually pre-draft, how it spreads out and evens out your colors. It kind of blends it slightly before it goes in, especially if you've got kind of a lot of colors going on. Examples of pre-drafting. How interesting. That's fascinating. God, I haven't gone to this part in a while. How staple length affects color, how fiber affects color, like the different fibers that are actually, fascinating. This book is fantastic, by the way. If you're interested, this is Dying to Spin and Knit by Felicia Lowe. She is the dyer and business owner behind Sweet Georgia, and she has a fabulous little podcast. It's like only 10 minutes long. Every Friday she puts it up. It's called Taking Back Friday, and it's about making time and space. And she shows like her mistakes and her weaving and her spinning and her dyeing. And she's currently working on the School of Sweet Georgia, which is she delves really deeply into like how to weave, setting up your rigid headed looms, setting up your how to warp, how to measure out your warp. So anyone who's interested in weaving, I would definitely look into maybe joining the School of Sweet Georgia. She's a fantastic teacher. She has a very good class. I think it's Spinning with Colour on Craftsy or Blueprint or whatever it's called now. That was a fantastic course that I took, and it taught me a lot about how to manage colour. I'm still learning so much about it, so that was really good. And then she's going to be doing a lot of dyeing tutorials for yarn dyeing and fibre dyeing in the summer. So if you're interested, definitely keep up with the School of Sweet Georgia, because I love Felicia. She's so good and she's so sweet. Hi Felicia, if you're watching. I don't know if she would, but she sometimes comments on my Instagram. So when I do, I'm like, fan. You see, like, how the spinning affects, you know, just fast. I need to sit down and read this properly, because I'm like, oh my god, and then like blending and rolags and all this sort of, making your own rolags, making your own bats, how it affects the color. And see, for me, color is something that's a bit of a mystery when I'm trying to use these kind of really beautiful colouredy roving, and I want to learn more about how I can dye my own roving, and then how to help people manage the colour when I dye it as well. So kind of consciously knowing how it's going to work out and all the different ways that you could do it. That book is really, really valuable for that. There's also this book here, which is kind of more for art yarn, I'm finding. Spinner's Book of Yarn Designs. So she talks a lot about like how to actually spin, how you prep everything, how you work everything together, and then the result of all the different types of the actual construction. So this will be more for color, and this will be the construction of the actual yarn, how it's made, how you can go into it in lots of different ways, wrapping singles, single ply, beading, multiple opposing pies, cables, mohair with a hand spun core and binder, boucle, coils, so many things, like soft core spinning. Never heard of that one, and it's kind of using long locks for like Wensleydale and things like that. So this is a really excellent book. I really recommend getting that book. My friend Orla O'Grady actually recommended this, and I have not looked back. So they're two really excellent books if you're interested in improving your spinning, intentional spinning. I feel like I'm not stopping for breath. I think it's because I've got a huge amount of fluff here. So I've bought 2 bats of mohair as well. And this is Irish carded washed mohair from Markery Woolcrafts. And they're actually, as far as I'm aware, and I don't know much, so, but there is a farmer up in Mayo who has mohair, who has Angora goats who produce mohair wool. So I was able to get this off of Mary Cooper, and it's beautiful stuff. And this is what I really want to practice boucle with, I think. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I could also, it's already pre-blended though, so I don't know if I could blend it with a wool to try and make a sock yarn. I don't think I'm too keen on making sock yarn anyway, so I don't think it's that much of a deal. But it's just lovely to have Irish mohair. And hopefully that'll keep, and I'll figure out what I want to do with it. Probably not this smell, but I've also got some absolutely gorgeous linen Irish flax. Now I got this up in the museum in Lisburn, I think. And this is from McConville's Flax Mill and Museum up in County Down in Dromore. McConville's water-powered Scotch mill close to Dromore in County Down provides a unique and nostalgic trip down memory lane for tourist local societies and organisations. So they actually, this family grow their own flax, and I think they're kind of the only people growing flax for hand spinning or for mill spinning. So this was a piece of flax that I got, God, from somewhere, I think in Australia actually, and I spun it up and I made a lovely little face cloth, and I put it all together for a sample. And I was wondering where this went, because this is the best like exfoliating face cloth in the entire world. And then this is the flax like ready to be spun, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's like hair. It's like silvery flaxen blondie hair. It's like a wig, honestly, it is. And yeah, so it just needs to be probably brushed out another little bit, hackled another little bit, but I don't have hackles. Look at that shine on it. So it's colouring. See? No wonder they said flaxen hair. So gorgeous. So yeah, so that's really lovely to have as well. And when I went up there, I told them I was a spinner and I'd done some flax spinning, and they just gave me some. So lovely. I really recommend, if you're heading up towards Belfast from Dublin, or if you're anywhere around Lisburn, definitely pop in and see them. It's well worth a look. I think it's free to get in, or if it's not free, it's not very expensive to get in. And they have people demonstrating. They have spinners and weavers, and they have hackles, and they're just lovely people, really keen on anyone spinning, anyone interested in spinning, especially flax. It was a huge industry for the north of Ireland, and yeah, it's a pity that it's kind of fading off a little bit, but oh well, we're still here. Now I've got old kind of scraps of fibre from when I was in Australia. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Maybe just to blend up something. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I had completely forgotten about this. I bought a club from Irish Dye Junkies, Ellie and Ada. And she made this. What's this one called? This one is called, this is Blueface Leicester Fibre Club Strange Powers, October 2017. So it's kind of like Stranger Things. I think it's based on Stranger Things. But oh my God, isn't it gorgeous? And oh my God, wouldn't it go really nice with this? Oh my God. So beautiful. Pretty it is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I've got that. That seems like it wants to go with all of those bits. And you know what? 400 grams is better than 300 grams. This is a little bit short for me. I think I do need to have slightly longer garments. It feels a little short, and it makes me feel a little bit like I'm cut in half. Nobody likes that. Nobody needs that. So what's in here then? Oh, this was some sari silk, I believe, that I got from Felt Fibre. Yes, this was some recycled. So, oh, look at that red. It's that red in real life as well. It's beautiful. Gosh, that's gorgeous. So nice. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. Then I've got some beautiful green that I got from somebody. Oh, somebody sent me this in like a little swap package or something. Oh, it's lovely. It's like a cheviot, or maybe a, I'm not sure what it is. It's not a merino anyway. But fabulous green colour. That's about 50 grams or so. I've got some cotton tops in there. I've got some Angora rabbit, which was sent to me by Ishchel, who has her own rabbits, and she brushes her rabbits, I believe. Oh! I'd forgotten I had another Irish fairy tale yarns with this amazing gradient. Oh! I'm going to put all the Irish fibre crafters together over there because they're so pretty. Okay. This is great because I've not really looked through this stuff for ages. What is that? Oh, I think this is more Angora from a friend's rabbit. So I've got all this stuff. This is some BFL that I prepped ages ago. I'm not going to touch that for a while. This is, oh yes, this is some of the flax that I was spinning. This is actually the original flax. I put it all together in the one go. This is Belgian flax that I spun. And it's really interesting seeing the colour change. So this was the original flax. This was it spun, so it's starting to get a little bit more silvery. So this is kind of more brown, tan colour, kind of turns a bit grey here. And then it really bleaches out once you start washing it. And it's turned like, you know, beige, really light grey beige. Interesting. So, put all that together. The flax part. I've got loads of Angelina Fiber here, which I bought at some stage. And I think I might do up some bats because they'd be really fun. I've got some gorgeous fiber here, Norwegian fiber from Patricia, who is Knitography. And these are from her own sheep, her own Norwegian sheep, I believe. I haven't had a chance to spin them up yet. But I think that'd be lovely in a little, so she sent me a little bit of grey, a little bit of black, and another little bit of grey. I think they're the same. So wouldn't that be really nice to spin them up and make a little Norwegian star headband or something in her style, you know, the style that she does. Oh, that would be so cute. They're only tiny little samples now. I don't know how far I'd get, but it'd be so sweet. Yeah, I think I might do something like that. Something short and sharp. I don't want to, that's very loud. I didn't want to crinkle it too much. What's that then? Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I've got, this is some, I believe, I don't need to smell it. Yes, this is some Jacob from the Orkney Islands, and it was sent by a friend of mine. I picked it up, or she sent it to me, of Yarn and Yearning. I think you sent this to me in the package. And it's just really cool. So it's actually blended, like the roving is one side black, one side white. So that would come up really marly when you're spinning it. So that's really cool. Perfect. This is some English Leicester swint washed fleece. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I've got this absolutely stunning green silk road that a beautiful person sent to me, or gave to me in Edinburgh. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. I've got a white silk hanky as well, or silk cap. So no idea what I'm going to do with that either. I've got some amazing locks from Diana of El Robledal de la Santa. So this is Diana and her lovely hand-dyed locks. Mohair Angora goat locks. Isn't she beautiful? Look at her lovely little smile. Hello Diana, how are you? So sweet. I also have a blue set of blue locks, like dark navy locks from her. Somewhere, I don't know where. I got this really nice blue fiber, blue blend, blue and black and white blend from the Knitting and Stitching show, and I have enough. I've spun up some for a sample or something, just during a show, and I have another 2 bumps, so I might just make another little bump. I try and match it and see how much I have. I think the problem I have with spinning with intention is I don't measure my yarn after I've actually spun it. And I don't like write down what's on it or where it came from. So I'm thinking like, oh, I'll remember that. I spun it for like five days. I don't know exactly what that is. No. So this is why Mina and her idea is brilliant, because I'm like, I'm gonna try and be better. I live in chaos. I'm not a recording type of person. I'm not. My chaos is my life. And the sooner I can get over myself and stop beating myself up about that, the better, don't you think? So, what else? We're nearly there actually, guys. We're nearly there, guys and girls. So, and everybody else who doesn't identify as guy or girl. There's a better one. There's a better way to say that. Everybody? Everybody has a body. There we go. This is another stunning piece of kit. And I bought both of these blends from this shop at the Knitting and Stitching show. And I think she mainly does felting, stuff for felting. But it's Gilliam, like Will.I.am. So she does quite a lot of felting, quite a lot of things like that. But when I'm there, I pick up a ton of really pretty, although this is cut, which stresses me out to no end. But I bought a whole bag of this beautiful green with like this gold stellina going through it. So gold and red stellina, I think. Absolutely gorgeous, and I really want to spin this up. I don't know why. I don't know what I need to make. I need to weigh it and see how much I have. I probably have like 150 grams, maybe 120 grams. Maybe something with those two together might come up nice, like a shawl or something. Let's put that in so I can see what it is in the future. I have then two beautiful bumps from Hawkshaw Sheep. Absolutely stunning. This is Shetland Roving, and then this one is Black Cheviot. And my plan for these two, well, one at least, is, well, this one definitely, is to try and spin it for a Shetland hap shawl. And this could be like the outside. Now, 250 grams, I'd say is going to be plenty for one huge Shetland hap shawl. I'm not sure. I need to have a little look. I have got a book of the shawls, and I'll see. But this could be the edging. If not, I think the edging and the inside are basically equal in the amount of yarn it takes, just because you've much longer rows on the outside than in the inside. So I think that would be really nice. A white center and a kind of a dark on the inside. And these are from Hawkshaw Sheep Farm, and I got them at EYF at the wool event, Make Wool event. Another set of yarn that I got at the Make Wool was this beautiful bag of bats from Spin City. And she also gave me a beautiful spindle with flowers. Yay, 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 yay. So yes, I absolutely love them. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, the final thing, this is some yarn that was sent to me, or was given to me actually at EYF, not this year, last year. And I use this quite a lot. It is a lovely, lovely fleece, but I use it for demonstration sometimes. I use a little part of it for demonstration, but it is New Zealand, I believe, merino ironed wool. I think it's New Zealand. But there's a huge amount in there, or there was anyway. Yeah, so I have this green, and I have a couple of other greens which people have given me because green is my color. But it's funny, I haven't bought much green. I kind of tend to go more, well, I do, oh no, never mind, I take it back. I buy loads of green. You're all right. Everyone's correct about me. This is the attacked bag of gorgeous alpaca fibre from the Loophead Alpacas, who are now doing group events and tours. You can go down and spend some time with them. So he's kind of attacked this one. Makes me scared, but so soft. This is from the Mummy, I think. Mummy. So she's given me a couple of bats there to experiment with dyeing. And then I've got this whole fibre yoke that I promised I was going to spin at least one a month or two a month, and I never did. So yeah, and this is all of the plant-based fibres from Flora Fibers yarn. So I've got lots of selections of those. I've also got some hemp and flax spinning fibre from Epidode Fiberworks, and I believe she's actually she's actually shutting down her fibre, the fibre part of her business, which is sad, but I'm really glad that I got this rainbow of flax fibres to spin, flax and hemp. So that would be really interesting for a shawl, like a lacy summer shawl or something like that. It's 140 grams. It's spin up very, very thin. And then when I was dropping some fibre back up to the Irish Fibre Crafters, I came across this pretty little pastel skein that I dyed. And I'd been actually eyeing this and wondering, if this doesn't sell, I might just take it and spin it. I don't know how or why or what it will be, but it's a Corriedale blend. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous blend to spin with. And yeah, that is my entire fibre stash. Oh my goodness. I think we'll have to do a quick picture, won't we? So I'll actually take this off and show you. This is the entire bag of stuff that went in there. So these are my two lovely bumps, my fibre here, my plant-based fibres, my two nice books. And then I've got my fun fluffy fibres, my Spin City bats, my beautiful Julayam blends. I've got my John Arbon fibre just here. These are all of my Irish fibre tails here. I think this is a Spin City as well. My current projects. And my little wheel. And my ironing. So it's quite a lot really. I've got a lot of planning to do. If you have any ideas for any patterns, do give me a shout. Especially, I think I want to do some playing with art yarns from the Spinner's Yarn Designs with those bats, because bats are just made to be art yarn, I think. You know, they're just so fascinatingly interesting. So there we go now. So if you want to join us, you can follow us over in our Ravelry groups. I'm going to be setting up my Ravelry group fairly soon, and you can find out all the rules of the CAL there. Now we are going to be obviously including people who don't spin as well, and you're going to be taking part probably in the making section, which would be much more reasonable, wouldn't it? But we would say that you can join in, but you have to use hand spun, either hand spun that you've been gifted or hand spun that you could buy. Now I have a couple of people who do sell their hand spun. I'm going to be making a list on the Ravelry page of those people, and I might do a little video as well about them and listing their shops underneath. Not right here at the moment because I haven't made my list. Off the top of my head, Pretty Funky Fibre, she sells hers hand spun. Up in Irish Fibre Crafters, Sandra and Sabine, Back to the Source, and oh my gosh, Irish Fibre Crafters, Sandra, what is your Meet the Wool, Jeeks almighty, I want to say Back to the Wool, and I was like, no, that's not it, Back to the Source and then Meet the Wool, yes. So they're two that you can buy them online on their website on irishfibrecrafters.com. Now those are the two in Ireland that I am aware of. If anyone who does sell their hand spun, if you want to get involved and get onto like the little database that I might set up, I'll put it onto our Ravelry page, and you can pop over and put in your shop and your details. Now I know there are a lot more in the UK that do it. First off the top of my head is Almas from Witchcrafty Lady. She sells her hand spun. I just got some weaving yarn from her. It's absolutely stunning. So yeah, she is the one off the top of my head that I'm aware of. Flora Fibers, she actually hand spuns her fibers. This is the plant fibers lady, so she hand spins hers as well, I believe, and you can buy them in her shop as well. So yeah, that's how you can join in if you're not a spinner yet, or you can get to be a spinner and buy a little spindle, have a little dabble. We will be doing prizes all the way through. It's not just going to be one big thing at the end. Mina's going to be more organised than I am. That's classic. But yeah, that's why you love me, isn't it? So yeah, listen, thank you so much for joining me this week. It's been a blast going through all of my stuff, and it's slightly terrifying, but I'm getting an idea and a handle on it, I promise. It's not as bad as my yarn. Yet. We'll see you next week. Bye.